right there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edward Jigero, and I am from Core Media. I have with me George Agag or Kwajdala from
Wicked Right. Yeah.
Wicked Right. So we are going to be discussing something that is always talked about everywhere you go, and that is client relationship. Mm-hmm. Client worker, client customer.
Yeah.
Client customer relationship. Yeah?
Client customer?
Client customer.
What do you mean client customer relationship?
What is it?
There's a client business. Client business, we are the business, they are your clients. Client business relationships.
Client business relationship.
Yes.
So we are the business and then the client.
They are the
or client or customers.
Yeah.
So business customer relationship.
Yeah.
Or client business relationship. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So that's what we are going to be talking about. I want to say something Agak before we start. That I have been working with clients for the last, let's say, 17 years. You know?
That's a long time.
I just want to say that I can't claim that I have been perfect in working with clients.
Yeah.
I have sometimes failed miserably working with clients, and looking back, sometimes I say I wish I had done that better.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I had played the game better. You know, and I sometimes I feel honestly like there are some clients that I lost that I will never get back because they just said,
because
okay,
of how you dealt with them.
You effed me up. I don't like the way we worked. I don't like what you did.
Yes. I
am gone, and I don't think they can recommend me ever again. You see, and so that is the reality of our kind of work, because I think branding, web design, we basically design stuff has a lot of things going on, and there is a lot of relativity in how people perceive your work, and I think it goes into a lot of things.
Yeah. Myself,
I am very picky at the things I buy.
Yeah.
And the work that people do for me. I am very picky, and I'm very, let's say, I have got very strong opinion on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so if you are going to be doing something for me, I'm going to have very strong opinions about the output, about what you do.
Yeah.
Collins. We are always fighting about the kind of videos that he sends me, or the kinds of positions he puts his camera, or whatever he does.
Yeah, like you did today.
Yeah.
So it's normal. You know, it takes a lot to please.
It's normal. So the working with the clients or working with the businesses is a very touchy issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have an experience working with clients, and some of the valuable things that you have learned over time. I have my own.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the biggest things when you're working with a client is being loving to that client.
Yes.
And is being patient with the client. Because one of the things I know about clients and the area in which I work on is that the clients that come to me from a point of ignorance.
Yeah.
A point of zero knowledge on what they're trying to accomplish. Especially if a client is coming to me to build them a website, they are going to be asking me to explain in plain English what a custom domain is.
Yes.
Why they should pay for hosting.
Yes.
Why they should be charged for email.
And why you are charging whatever you're charging.
And they are going to be asking me, why can't you just work with the information that I've given you? If you want to add, you don't need to charge me, just add.
These are the clients who come to you and you tell them, okay, they want website design, and now you're telling them, you know what, even if we are creating, I don't want to leave your site with Lorraine Ipsam, you know? But I thought you were creating the website. I just wanted a complete website, not understanding that the website has a lot of moving parts, that sometimes your work as the website designer their website is not complete, even when yours is complete. You understand? Yeah.
Say that again?
Your work as a website designer, your work as a website designer might be complete, but the website itself is not complete. So a client calls you and says, you know, you said you do websites, but why is my website not complete? You know, now you have to explain to them that, okay, what I charged you for was the website design and the branding and the stuff. I didn't charge you for content. Now you have to pay a content writer to populate your site with relevant content. You know?
So anyway, you're talking about your experience with the clients.
Yes. What I've learned, starting out, I think I made the mistakes of believing that when something is good, it sells itself. And what that does is that it leaves everything on the final product. So you say, okay, but I haven't had really good communication with this client, but the work, kazi yenye nitafanya, the work I'll do, he'll just see for himself. But not knowing that there's a lot that goes when you're communicating with this client, when the job is done, how is the workflow? Where does he start? All right? Where does he start? How are we going to be talking? How are we going to be communicating? How do we exchange these mails? How is he now paying? You know? So the process of doing all this, if you only focus on giving out quality and you believe that, okay, when I do a quality job, then the client is served, then that is where you miss the point, because along the work, along the process, you'll be seeking client feedback, right? You've done something, you want their opinion on it, right? Most people want to go with want to reset their minds, all right? I've been doing websites for 10 years, all right? What you're telling me now doesn't make sense. Not knowing, as you've said, that these clients come, not all clients are the same, all right? Not all clients are the same, then thus they shouldn't be treated equal. If you find a client that just know this much and they give you feedback, all right, don't rubbish their feedback. They are paying. Whatever point they are giving, they believe it's going to help in giving them the product that they need. That is where you exercise the patience in dealing with their feedback. Take clients' feedback seriously and act upon it. However bad it might seem, let them know that their view doesn't work, but in a professional manner, in a respectful manner. Don't just focus on the end product. Focus on the journey. Focus on your journey with the client. Where did it begin? How are we going? You know, this is why when you go to some people's website, as a client, you can go to the website and proceed to order. Let's say to order a work getting done. For instance, if on my website, you know, when I told you to make me a sales page, I want clients to come to my website. By the time they leave, they can order content without talking to me. I make it that way. I'm focused on the process, all right? And by the time this is done, by the time I have worked on the article that the client is supposed to be paying for, can you look at this journey where it all began? All right, so it begins from way back. Yeah.
I recently one of the things that I've realized with the biggest problem that we also have when in our relationship with clients, and this I'm drawing this from just a recent work that I did.
Yeah.
And a client asked me to do live streaming.
Yeah.
And the journey that I took with the client was very bad. And I blame myself for it. You know, there are those clients that are the clients can be very cheeky. Like the idea of making a job look lighter than what it is. And then entrapping you into it.
I like that you're not speaking about it, because I think the work we have worked. You have been my client.
Yes,
you have been my client, and I've been your client in different levels. And I told you, Jagero, you know, your biggest problem with me is that you try to make your job.
Yeah.
You try to decimate the scope of your work. You make it look like, okay, this can take me 2 days.
I wasn't talking about me actually.
You were talking about. I'm just using you as an example. You are my ninja, and you've been my client.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Jagero, you've really decimated the scope of this job. And I believe that I have been communicating with my client in the right way.
So what I'm going to say to that is that when I say clients are cheeky,
yes,
I'm not excluded.
Yes, you're not excluded. Yes.
The idea is that you get the most from the little you pay.
Yes.
And sometimes what happens with the clients is that they make the work look very small.
Very small.
But then during the journey you realize that what the smokes did I sign up for?
Yeah.
See, and in that case I blame you for being entrapped by me. You see, the blame is squarely on your doorstep. Because then and when I'm talking about the work that I did recently and I felt so bad about it,
yes,
one of the things that happened with this job is that one of my friends told me about this job.
Yes.
When we were just chatting.
Yes.
And he pinned me down to give him a prize for it. And I gave him a small prize for it.
Yes.
But then the job was not even his. He had been asked by somebody to look for a job for somebody who can do this. So remember, he's not even talking to me. He's not even giving me the whole scope of this work. And I have to be fair to him. But then what the mistake that I did was that when now the real owner of the job showed up, I made the mistake of still using the TOR that I was given by my friend.
Yes.
What I should have done is to start the conversation afresh.
Yes. Yes.
And ask this client, what exactly do you want done? So I'm telling you, it was a live streaming job.
Yeah.
And then when I went there, I realized that the format of the live streaming is not exactly what I signed up for. The format, what I had signed up for are people showing up on stage and me streaming those people to a Facebook audience. In fact, it came out that it should be streamed on Facebook, it should be streamed on Zoom. That is very technical. Now, the other thing was that all the speakers were not on site. So the idea was that the speakers that are not on site, when they show up to speak, they are shown to the people on site. So it is a hybrid event. It's a hybrid event. People are on Zoom.
Yes.
People are on site.
Yes.
Speakers are on site. Other speakers are on Zoom. And everything needs to be aligned. If a speaker is speaking from Zoom, the Zoom people need to see to hear and see them. The people on location need to hear and see them.
Damn.
It was very, very complicated. And then, so what was happening is that even the founder of the whole thing was there. So when we were brought in as professionals to stream this event, everybody in the hall knew that we had our shit together.
But you didn't.
We didn't have our shit together. Far from it. It was a disaster.
How did it end?
Because at some point, somebody has to pick on Zoom, and we have to put a microphone literally on our computer for people on location to hear. Because we didn't know that's how it was going to be. So at the end of the day, everybody was pointing a finger at the live streaming desk because now the people don't know. These people know that we are the sound people. They know that we're the one live streaming. They know that they are the one operating the this thing that is on the wall is called what? A projector.
The projector.
We weren't manning the projector. We were not the admins of the Zoom call. We were just supposed to be there to stream. At the end of the day, we were supposed to be doing everything. Now, the problem is on me. Because
you didn't inquire.
I overlooked. What this lady should have done, what I should have asked this lady is to run me through what is really going to happen.
Yes.
But for me, when I saw the schedule, I just thought that all these speakers are going to be on location.
Yes.
And that was a disaster. So one of the things that I feel like people are doing is not getting the real scope of the job.
Yes.
And for me, one of the things I really insist on these days is a written scope.
Yeah.
You know?
Write it.
Yes. Because, like, for example, the same thing was supposed to be ending at 5. I was told it ends at 1.
Where?
And I could only catch the client because there is a WhatsApp communication to that effect. And even the schedule says that it ends at 1. But then at 1, I'm hearing the MC saying that in our afternoon session.
Oh, Lordy.
And I'm taken aback.
And you were like, was there a session?
So the idea, for me, I think that the client relation starts with understanding the job.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
The full scope of the job.
The other thing is that, and this is the elephant in the room for people who do business.
Yeah.
It is obvious that it is sometimes a given that some of the things that we take upon ourselves to do for clients, we are not going to do them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can take a writing job from a client, I will give it to someone that is not me.
Yeah.
You see, whether it is my employee or whether it is somebody else that is a consultant.
It's an external agency.
Yes, which is consultant with the core media. And the other thing that people do is overpricing or underpricing.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it has hit me where it hurts.
But you know, when you haven't understood the scope of the job, obviously the price won't be aligned.
Don't confuse the two.
No, I'm not.
You are confusing the two.
I'm not confusing the two.
The idea is you can know the scope of the job and still underquote.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Then yes.
So those are two different things.
Yes.
You can understand the scope of the job and still underquote.
Yes. But if you don't understand the scope of the job, you won't price it well. Because you are using the scope that you have in your head, but not what's on the ground. Like in your case, the reason why you feel you charged less is because you didn't understand the scope of the job. Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you don't understand the scope of the job, you are most probably not gonna price it well.
Yeah. And that's another. Have you ever undercharged a client? Did you undercharge me?
I have undercharged. Yes, I have, man. And then you realize,
how did that come close to your whatever?
Yeah, man. Not once.
Yeah.
I've undercharged clients. It happens a lot with the web design, with the web copy. You know, you just tell people, okay. It takes a lot for people to differentiate the moving parts of web content. All right. For the most part, you charge someone when you say you are charging them for web copy, you're charging them for the static content on the website. All right. But
what is static content?
The static content. These are the foundational information, the fundamental information about the business that don't change. If core media does branding, now you have a page that talks about branding that you do. You know, that's not something that changes tomorrow. It stays that way. It's different from a blog, because a blog, you need to update a blog like, okay, weekly, daily, given just using your schedules, you know. So a blog changes. The web content doesn't. So when you get a client and you've charged them for web content, but they need the blogs done too.
Yeah.
You know, you've undercharged. You know, you've undercharged, and that has happened to me. Other times, you get people who tell you, okay, this job is I want a 1,000 word article.
Yeah.
A 1,000 word article. But the things that they want to be covered in that article, the H1, the H2, and the you know, if you write H1 itself, H1, H2, H3, 1,000 words is over.
Yeah, I remember giving some ninjas some job, and he told me, man, this thing is 800 words, but the things you want me to do in this thing, shit.
That happens. Someone tells you, I want you to cover this, 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 but they limit the word count because you pay by word count. All right, you say that, okay, for 1,000 words, I'll charge you 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, if the client now brings the 5,000 that you asked for, or the 10,000 that you asked for, but whatever they want you to cover cannot fit the word count, a major problem.
What other? So the other thing that I've realized with client relationship is the issue of time and what is it? Time. You tell
timelines.
You tell a client that I'm going to give you this at this day.
Yeah.
And then you don't. And you don't communicate. You know?
That's terrible.
And sometimes clients really want to use this thing. They want a website to show it to someone.
Yeah.
They have made a tender plea somewhere, and they want to show the website.
They have funders.
They have funders.
There are funders who
they want you to have the report on the website.
Yeah. For example, when you do rapporteuring, you've gone to an event, you've taken the details, you've written the report. You know, funders need to see it as soon as possible. Let's say you agree with the ninja that okay, I'm giving you this job 2 days after the event.
Yeah.
All right. A week later, you haven't delivered. That sucks. That's not the way to treat a client.
And most of them, what I've realized in my experience over the years is that ukianza kusumbua clients, they just quietly go away.
Yeah.
You know, you remember, you don't understand why this client is no longer giving you work. But, you know, clients get hurt a lot by the things that we do to them.
And another thing, I think businesses are also really replaceable.
But that's the thing. When you hurt them, they move.
Businesses are really replaceable. So
because even
this client is not married to you. They will not have to go to court for divorce. You know, they just decide that I don't like dealing with this ninja. And the reason sometimes why these clients go away are things that are very solved. Yeah. And for me, I think that communication is very, very key when dealing with the clients. But I also want to say, Agak, is that as a business, you sio lazima. If you realize that it is not working between you and that client, you just let them go. You know, there are also clients that are very difficult. Clients are not always right.
Clients, well, I
can't say clients are always right. They are not always on the right side of
the customer is always right. That's what the customer is not always right. Mm-hmm. In what situations or areas would you think the client is not right?
Using your example, you told me a story of that client you dropped. You remember? Was that client right? In using your case as an example, you said you had branded the client, everything, the YouTube, the Facebook, and everything, and then the client decides to change the name of the business after you've done branding. Is that right?
It's not right.
That's not right.
That's not right. At least if they realize that this is not working, then let's have that conversation and say, okay, this is now not working. What can we do about it? I feel like I need to change the branding for this thing.
Yeah.
But you see where a client changes this thing and then they go to Canva and make a very shitty logo and give it to you to work with. You know, I also have my standards. There is a time I asked somebody to do for me some piece of work, and then they told me that I shouldn't put their name on it. Yeah, I shouldn't attribute it to them because they felt like, well, it was a chain. There is another client that wanted it. I gave it to him to do it, so I was basically a middleman. But then at the direction that work had gone, the guy was no longer proud of what he had done. And he said, all right, I'll do it the way you want, but I don't want my name on it.
I don't want to be associated
with this. Don't attribute it to me.
Yeah, sometimes you just want the work gone. Yeah. You know, in writing, we always say if a client gives you a byline, it's a plus. But sometimes you've done the work the way you like it, you know, and then you give it to this client. And no, I wanted this here. An example, there's this guy I was writing content for. We exchanged. I blogged on his site. So I was writing about cannabis concentrates, and the way I'd written it, the first thing that I sent him, I liked it because it was very specific. It was very specific. It was flowing. You know, I wrote it the way I'd like it written. But when that ninja went and suggested the changes, you know, he's paying. I'm like, yeah. And you try to engage him about the quality of the article that we'll get when I've really put your feedback into consideration. And he's not willing to change. Then you tell them, okay, I'll just do this, but treat it as an in-house production so that your name is not on it. Yes, I've done that. Where you were supposed to be getting a byline. Writers like bylines. As a writer, you like bylines. Yeah, because bylines market you, you know. But when the resultant output, when you don't like the output after engaging the client and keying in his feedback into it.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to say in as far as that is concerned, is that, and this is to clients out there. When you come to a professional, treat them as such. You know, don't come with your. You can come with your ideas, but one of the things that people like us are called consultants is because there is a way they look at something. They understand it. I understand branding. I understand logos. I understand writing. I understand content. I understand all these things.
You know.
So one of the things that people can do, that clients can do, is just to listen. You know, and ask questions. Why have you taken this direction?
Yes.
Why have you used this color? What is really going on? Make me understand why you're trying to make this thing the way it is.
Yeah.
Like the other day, a client was telling me to put to have Twitter and Facebook running on the website, and I asked them, I understand that you have seen other websites having this thing going on, but why do you think people have? And I asked him this question: when you go into people's website, do you really want to check their socials on their website? If you want to see the Instagram page of somebody, you go to their Instagram page.
Yes, your link.
You know.
So what normally happens is that you leave the links to the social profiles on the footnotes. Can I say footnotes on the website? Yeah. But other people want it to be running on the side of the website.
And the question why? Why would you want to do that? Because people don't go to your website. People don't go to your website to start to look at your social. People go to your website to look at your website. People go to your socials to look at your socials.
Yes, and I think having it like that really eats into your core web vitals. You know, it weighs the site down. So the benefit versus the damages.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
But we were talking about, in a very casual way, about how to treat your clients right, and is other clients always right? And we've realized that, you know, sometimes the clients are just not right. And when you realize that the client is not right, it's a good thing to have a conversation with them. If you're going to be taking up a job, know the scope of that job, probably in a written form. if client is giving you timelines or you're giving the timelines to client, then you better be in charge. You better know, adhere to those timelines and make the client happy. If you're going to be delaying with the job that the client is giving you, please communicate in advance and tell them that, look, I wanted to do this during this time, but I'm thinking this is not going to work. So let's push it a little bit. Do you think we can push it a little bit? And they will be like, hell, why not? Let's do it. If I want this thing right, and if you think you need more time to do it, then I'm going to give you that time. If the client is saying, I need this thing now, I need to take it somewhere, then perhaps what you can do is just to say, I'm going to sit my ass down and labor on this thing and try and give him something that is closer to what they want, and then we can do something later. So the reason why we are doing these conversations is that we can so that we can help other businesses, and we can help ourselves as businesses to grow our businesses, to grow your business, and everybody walks away happy. And one of the things that we want to ask you to do is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because when you subscribe to this YouTube channel, of course, Google is going to be saying, all right, there is something good here that needs to be shared, to be distributed, to be ranked, and leave a comment, even if it is, hey George, I see there, my man, do that. So and hit on that notification bell so that whenever we have a video we are talking about, you can always enjoy it. Thank you very much, and until next time, goodbye.